Good. Okay, good morning, everyone. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Calling the roll for the Monday, November 13th, 2023 Board of Control meeting. It is 11:01 a.m. We have Councilmember Meredith Turner.
Present.
Councilmember Dale Miller.
Present.
Trevor Meckler serving as an alternate for Brunel Jones Jr.
Here.
Nicole English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever.
Here.
Catherine Gallagher serving as an alternate for Chris Ronay, County Executive.
Here.
Mike Chambers, Interim Fiscal Officer, serving as Chairman.
Here.
Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is the review and approval of the minutes from November 6th. I will make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Is there any public comment?
No public comment.
Let's go to our first item.
First item, BC 2023-711, correcting to read, striking after 34% Title IVE Health and Human Services Levy Fund. Department of Public Works recommending to amend Board of Control approval number BC 2023-689 dated 11/6/2023, which made an award to National Office Services Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $129,962.94 for a state contract purchase of additional furniture in connection with the office build-out of various wings at the J. Edna Hunter Building to change the funding source from 66% Health and Human Services and 34% Title IVE to Health and Humans to Public Assistance Fund.
Good morning, Matt Reimer with the Department of Public Works. So this item was presented last week, but in coordination between HHS and OBM, the funding source has changed.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve this as amended for the funding source change. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved as amended. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-712, Department of Public Works submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Bob Chapman Ford Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $98,202 for a state contract purchase of two 2025 utility police interceptor vehicles for the Sheriff's Department and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is a purchase order approval with Bob Chapman. It's for two replacement 2025 police interceptors for Sheriff's Division. It's replacing a 2013 and a 2014, both of them with very high mileage. Those two will go on gov deals, and this is being procured off of a state of Ohio contract.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is
Thank you.
approved. Next item. Yep.
Next item, BC 2023-713, amending the funding source to read 100% $5 motor vehicle license tax fund. Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with Independence Excavating Incorporated for replacement of Memphis Road Bridge number 00.62 over CSXT Railroad in the city of Brooklyn for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $299,299.50.
Nicole English with Public Works. We are changing the funding source to be 100% County Road and Bridge because we are out of, we've already used the federal amount and the OPWC. So this amendment is mainly for three things. One is increased excavation, that the planned quantity was underestimated when they got out in the field. The second is added sidewalk that was required due to ODOT inspection that came out. And then adjustments that are contractually obligated when you increase or decrease an item more than 25%. So that's a contractual requirement. This bridge project had been going on for a long while and is nearly completed. This is not a final, but the final should be coming soon. It is open to traffic again.
Thank you, Ms. English. Are there any questions from the board?
I have one question.
Please.
Could you say a little bit more about these adjustments that are required when you change certain things more than 25%?
So this is an ODOT spec that we use, that if an item changes more than 25% in quantity, they're allowed to adjust the price. So say we were planning on buying, I'm just making something up, 1,000 feet of sidewalk. They bid it at a certain amount because the contractor's assuming they're getting, some quantity decrease, a discount, in order to do that much. If we now go out there and only do 50, it really changes how much they have to pay for it, because now you've lost kind of that.
Economy of scale.
Correct,
Right.
exactly. So it goes both ways, increase and decrease. If we decrease that item, or if we increase it significantly, that they can change the price. And so we work with the contractor, they have to show us what their new price is, and based on what they're actually buying, and then they can adjust it.
And how much of the 299,000 was due to this factor?
20,136.
Are there additional questions from the board? No?
I'll make a motion that we approve the item.
There's a motion made. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And we have to
As
vote
amended. I apologize. Approved
amended.
as amended. Thank you. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-714, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with Industrial First Incorporated for roof maintenance services for various county buildings for the period December 1st, 2018 through November 30th, 2023, to extend the time period to May 31st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $55,000.
Good morning, Matt Reimer with the Department of Public Works. This amendment, if approved, would extend our roof maintenance services contract and add sufficient dollars to get us through the next 6 months. We do have a new RFP specification prepared, and we'll be going out on a competitive procurement in time before the expiration of this amendment, if approved.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-715, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with the Roberts Mechanical Equipment Company for the Juvenile Justice Center Boiler Replacement Project for the period November 22nd, 2022 through November 21st, 2023, to extend the time period to March 3rd, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $10,000.
Good morning, Matt Reimer again with the Department of Public Works. This is our capital improvement project that has been in construction at the Juvenile Justice Center. The Roberts Mechanical Company contract is a supporting procurement of that construction project and resulted in the delivery of the 6 new boilers. This amendment is for additional vent stack material that was needed due to once we got into the boilers, we found the condition of the existing vent stack to be deficient, so we replace that as well. So this amendment would cover that additional material and the extended time just to cover closeout of this contract.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-716, Department of Public Works recommending an award and enter into an agreement with U.S. Department of Agriculture, Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services, Wildlife Services, in the amount not to exceed $9,685 for animal and wildlife control services for the Cuyahoga County Airport for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is approval of our annual wildlife control contract that we have with the USDA for the county airport. This is being procured through a joint co-op through USDA, and it's a one-year contract that they do wildlife control at the airport as needed.
Thank you, Tom. Are there questions from the board?
Yes. Is the wildlife control done without harming the animals?
That's correct. So they come in at a regular basis, do inspections of the property, and they will try their USDA. They've got trained divisions within their ranks that they contract with most FAA divisions and airports. So they've got different measures they utilize to remove the animals, be it deer, birds, coyotes, etc.
We have all of those things in our backyard as well.
I know.
Okay. Any additional questions on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-717, Department of Sustainability, submitting an amendment to a contract with Bricker and Eckler LLP for legal services in connection with Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas case number CV 18-897-478, Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company versus City of Cleveland et al. For the period October 7, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2024, to change the vendor's name to Bricker Graydon LP effective April 1st, 2023. No additional funds required.
Good morning, Matt Ruby, Department of Sustainability. This request is a one-year time-only extension to an existing contract for legal services with Bricker and Graydon. Director Foley did send out a nice overview of the lawsuit itself as part of the advanced questions, but if there are any follow-ups to that, I can do my best to answer.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next
you.
item, please.
Next item, BC 2023-718, Department of Purchasing, on behalf of the County Treasurer's Office, submitting an amendment to a master services agreement with Key Bank National Association for banking and treasury services for the period April 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2024, for additional funds for procurement card program services for various departments, and the total amount not to exceed $51,500, effective upon signatures of all parties, as listed on the printed agenda, items 1A through F and 2A.
Morning, Paul Porter, Department of Purchasing. This is our quarterly amendment to add funds and add users to the county's P-card or purchasing card program. You'll notice that a variety of different departments are having additional funds as part of this amendment, and we are adding the county executive's office as a card holding department. Previously, the executive's office didn't have a P card of their own, and they on occasion had to use P cards from other departments. So this is going to make sure they have a P card in their office. And then again, you know, the additional funds are fairly small amounts. It's a pretty routine amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-719, Department of Information Technology, submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Integrated Precision Systems Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $40,123.08 for a state contract purchase of 6 each Galaxy Access Control Panels, card readers, and various equipment, installation and programming services for upgrades to the enterprise network security systems at the Justice Center, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Board. Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. Integrated Precision Systems, IPS, is the IT standard for surveillance and security hardware, and this is via state term schedule through them for use, upgrade, and replacement of hardware at the Justice Center.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Are there any questions from the board?
Move approval.
We have a move for approval. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-720, Department of Information Technology, submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to M&J Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $124,000 for a state contract purchase of 1,000 Nitro Pro business licenses for the period November 13, 2023 through November 12, 2024, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good afternoon again, or good morning again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. This is a state term schedule purchase via M&J as our vendor. The PDF Nitro is our countywide standard for this PDF tool.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-721, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to B&H Photo Electronics Corporation, DBA B&H Photo Video, in the amount not to exceed $49,684.52 for the purchase of various multimedia video production equipment and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. This is joint co-op via Omnia Partners. And this is for the purchase of video production equipment that's used on a daily basis. Primarily, this consists of a camera, lenses, and batteries.
Okay, Dennis, thank you. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-722, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Dell Marketing LP in the amount not to exceed $474,205.45 for state contract purchase of 155 Microsoft Azure capacity units to expand cloud security services and storage for the period November 13, 2023 through June 12, 2026, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. This is their licensing credits, units, whatever you want to call them, via Dell is through our Microsoft Enterprise Agreement that we have countywide, and this is a forecasted need for cloud security and storage.
Okay, Dennis, thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2023-723, County Executive's Office submitting a grant agreement with Spirit of Cleveland via contract number 3880 and the amount not to exceed $400,000 to provide funding for conventions, tourism to spur economic growth in Cuyahoga County, effective upon contract signatures of all parties for a period of 1 year.
Good morning, Dominique Tatum, Fiscal Department. This is a grant agreement with Spirit of Cleveland. This is to host different events within the city.
Thank you, Dominique. Are there any questions from the board?
Yes.
Councilman, please.
I have a question. I saw in the response that one of the activities they're going to work on is the total solar eclipse. And since it's the only time it's going to happen for something like 130 years in Cleveland, I'm just going to ask, what's the plan for how we're going to handle that event?
I don't have that information available right now, but I can email it over.
Okay, thank you.
When you get it, send it to the Cheryl,
Yep.
please, and she'll send it out. Great. Are there additional questions on the item? Seeing no additional questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-724, Court of Common Pleas Correction Planning Board submitting an amendment to a contract with Cleveland Peacemakers Alliance for non-therapeutic intervention and trauma-informed peer mentoring services for the Violence Intervention Program pilot expansion for the period October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2023, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2024. No additional funds required.
Good morning, I'm Linda Lagoonzad, Interim Administrator with the Corrections Planning Board. This item is a one-year, no-cost extension of time addressing a contract whereby Peacemaker supports implementation of the court's violence intervention program addressing specifically peer supporters, provided by the organization Peacemakers. The program is supported by a grant from the U.S. Department of Justice. The only changes to this contract through this amendment is the extension of time to complete program services, and there are no additional funds being requested.
Thank you, Linda. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-725, Court of Common Pleas Corrections Planning Board submitting an amendment to a contract with Summit Psychological Associates Incorporated for sex offender assessment and treatment services for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2025, to change the terms effective July 1st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $291,390.72.
Good morning again, Linda Lagoonzad with the Corrections Planning Board. The board and the Common Pleas Court request to extend the original contract with Summit Psychological Associates, again, as noted, for an additional 2 years of services. The only changes to this contract through the amendment is the time extension, the amount of time, which is the time frame is the same as the original, which is 2 years. The reporting process that the vendor will report to me this time, and then the commercial liability insurance was changed slightly. So this project is 100% funded by Community Corrections Act grant funds, and it provides offender psychosexual assessments and sex offender intensive treatment services to adults who have been placed on community control supervision for sex offenses and have been ordered by the Common Pleas Court to participate in the sex offender program to enhance public safety.
Thank you, Linda. Are there any questions from the board?
Yes. Is the dollar amount for the next 2 years the same as for the current?
Yes.
And how much evidence is there that this kind of work has positive impacts? Generally, sex offenders are considered very difficult to treat.
I don't have that information on hand specifically for the offenders that have been participating in the program because we don't, well, first of all, we don't have a recidivism study that's ongoing for this particular program. We are down a recidivism staff person, and it's been a little tough finding that person outside in the community. So we're still in the active interview process and hope to find someone. So that answers the bigger long-term question for you. And again, the information goes to our probation department. And in terms of, we just continue on with this program, and that's what the court requires, and that's what we're doing for these offenders.
Okay.
Mr. Mackler, you're good? Sure. Any final questions? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item?
Next item, BC 2023-726, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an amendment to a contract with Ohio Guidestone for educational and vocational support services for court-referred youth for the period August 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2024, to change the terms effective July 1st, 2023, and for additional funds in amount not to exceed $30,000.
Good morning. Sharon Allen here to present with Juvenile Court. Juvenile Court desires to amend this contract with Ohio Guidestone for educational and vocational support services for probation services. This amendment is an amendment to a previously approved contract through Reclaim. This is to extend the time period, increase the funds in the amount of $30,000, increase the unit rate to $74.52 from $70.70, replace the insurance requirements of the contract to new insurance requirements, if applicable, and this changes the not to exceed amount to $230,000 from $230,000 to $260,000.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-727, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an amendment to a contract with Ohio Guidestone for educational and vocational support services to the Promise Team youth population for the period July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2023, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2024, to change the terms effective July 1st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $60,000.
Sharon Allen, Juvenile Court again. This is desires to amend Ohio Guidestone to amend the Promise Educational and Vocational Contract Amendment with Ohio Guidestone for the Promise Team. This amendment is a previously approved contract. We are seeking to extend the time period, increase the funds in the amount of $60,000, increase the unit rate to $74.52 from $70.70, and replace the insurance requirements. It changes the not to exceed amount of the contract from $238,400 to $298,400.
Thank you again, Sharon. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-728, Court of Common Pleas, Juvenile Court Division submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Project Lift Behavioral Health Services in the amount not to exceed $75,000 for the Restorative Justice Diversion Program for the period July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2025, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Hi, Sharon Allen, Juvenile Court. And again, this is a contract, this contract is funded through the Reclaim Grant and shall not exceed $75,000 for the term of the contract. This is a restorative justice program. The vendor shall engage in trauma-informed manner to help youth involved in delinquent matter and identify what they need to feel restored by the harm done. The court desires to contract with Project Lift Behavioral Services for a term starting July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2025.
Okay, thank you again, Sharon. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2023-729, County Prosecutor submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to M&J Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $19,468 for a state contract purchase of one Wasabi Reserve Capacity Cloud Storage and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Josh Brower with the Prosecutor's Office. This item before you represents the purchase of Wasabi Cloud Storage, which will be used to further enhance the prosecutor's modern backup and disaster recovery strategy by storing backups safely in the cloud.
Thank you, Josh. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-730, Sheriff's Department submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Integrated Precision Systems Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $21,768.95 for the purchase of 3 replacement Axis cameras, including Express Plus video management software licenses, 1 video recording server, miscellaneous equipment, installation and setup at the Justice Center parking garage level P2, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Karen DiCarlo for the Sheriff's Department. We are requesting approval of the purchase order with Integrated Precision Systems to replace the 3 cameras in the P2 garage.
Okay, Karen, thank you. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-731, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to University of South Florida Board of Trustees in the amount not to exceed $37,927 for creation, implementation, and maintenance of the Just-in-Time Foster Parent Caregiver web-based training program for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Christian Tobin representing Health and Human Services on behalf of the Division of Children and Family Services. We are requesting approval as the item was read. This vendor was selected. We received 2 responses to this informal bid that was publicly posted. We received those 2 responses, and typically we would have selected a vendor based on the best price because it was an informal bid. However, this is the current vendor, and their performance was such that it supported, in addition to their proposal, that this vendor would actually be the best vendor. They had more comprehensive services to provide to the foster care families and the caregivers that are taking the courses, and this would allow the existing individuals and families that are participating in the process to continue their continued education requirements without interruption.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Are there any questions from the board? Mr. Magler.
Who was the other vendor?
The other vendor that submitted a proposal was Northwest Media, Inc.
How much lower was that?
I'd have to do the math, but they submitted an estimated cost, it's roughly $7,000, well, a little less than $7,000. Their cost was $30,769, and just in time was $37,927.
Are there additional questions on the item?
Move for approval.
Move for approval, and a seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Very good. Moving on, please.
Moving on to consent agenda items, BC 2023-732 through BC 2023-736.
Okay, board members, feel free to ask questions on today's consent agenda items. Are there any questions? Please.
I'm good with the consent agenda items. I'll move for approval.
Move for approval. Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Today's consent agenda's items are approved. Moving on to other business.
No other business?
Any public comment?
No public comment.
I will make the motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Stop.